Bonds, Tommy Dreamer, and yours at the Strike Zone in Rhode Island, taking you to the extreme.
Since you first started the Fan Fest, I believe in 2010, and it's awesome how you just grew it. I mean, it went from small places, then there was the Crown Plaza last year in Warwick, and now you got the Rhode Island Convention Center. So I mean, growing my own business, I can respect that, how far you come, and love to see the success. And you got some big media names, including the recent one for HJY. So it's awesome, and we can definitely respect that.
Oh, without a doubt, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, we're certainly it's a pleasure to have 94 HJY on hand, and Tarbox Toyota we just recently signed.
Nice.
Of course, FYE. So certainly some big things going down, and we'll be doing ESPN Radio and HJY, Hot 106, all kinds of things going on. So. And a pleasure to be on your show as well.
Oh, no, we appreciate it. Do you want to tell us, Joe, who is going to be inducted to the New England Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. We got Heavenly Johnny Angel going in, just retired recently. We have the legendary James E. Cornette as one of the headliners this year. Former WWE referee Jimmy Corderas had over a 20-year career there. He will be inducted as well. Legendary midget wrestler Short Sleeve Sampson will be inducted.
That's right.
Of course, ROH ring announcer Bobby Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
We have a former NWA Tag Team Champion Eric Sprasia from the Tony Rumble days, and a whole host of others. We have Redemption from the New England scene, Yankee Pro Wrestling back in the day. He will be inducted as well.
Now, Short Sleeve Sampson, wasn't
Mean
he?
Gene Okerlund, the legendary Mean Gene.
Oh, we'll get to Mean Gene in a second. Short Sleeve Sampson, wasn't he? When they had the Little People TLC match, wasn't he part of the announce? Wasn't he like Lawler or JBL or one of them?
He was. Yes, he was one of the commentators, and he's appeared over the years on WWE programming.
Yeah.
He's been Mini Kurt Angle and Mini Undertaker, and he was part of the DX Court. So he's
the Little
certainly
People's
done
Court.
a lot over the years with them.
Gotta love the Little People's Court. Now, Mean Gene Okerlund, to channel my inner Ric Flair. Mean Gene! What an honor for him to be going into the New England Hall of Fame, and certainly a true Hall of Famer in every sense of the word.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he's just done so much. He's paved the way for so many announcers and people in the business. And, back in the 80s, I mean, what's an interview without Mean Gene Okerlund?
Yes.
Just became the man as far as interviews go, and very infamous with the WCW hotline, of course.
Oh, yes.
Always plugging that. And just spoke to Gene a few days ago. He's pumped up, ready to go. He rarely gets out to New England, so this is his first appearance in quite some time, many years, and looking forward to meeting the fans. And he said it's an honor because he got to induct Howard Finkel into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And now the favor returns as Howard Finkel is now inducting Gene into the New England
Now, isn't
Hall
the
of Fame.
Fink already in the New England Hall of Fame?
I'm sorry?
Is the Fink already in the New England Hall of Fame?
He's not a member of the Hall of Fame, but he is a recurring host each and every year. He is the the man behind the mic. So
That's the perfect host right there.
without a doubt,
Following
it doesn't get any
contest
better.
is scheduled for one fall.
And can we make sure Mean Gene brings his famous burgers over there from Florida, the Mean Gene burgers?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe we could plan a little lunch beforehand.
Yeah.
Guys are making me hungry.
A little JF's barbecue sauce on there,
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Give it a little extra kick.
Now, Joe, I know we obviously know you're a huge wrestling fan. How did you come up with the idea of the Fan Fest 5 years ago? What made you say, hey, I want to, create the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame or the Fan Fest? Was it just your idea? Was it somebody else's joint idea? How did that come all about?
Yeah, it was certainly my idea. I mean, a wrestling fan since a little kid, age 5, and finally got into the wrestling business as a ring announcer for over 10 years, promoter as well, and started the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, wanting to give back to those who maybe wouldn't go recognized otherwise.
When was the
a lot
Hall of Fame
local
founded,
talents.
Joe?
And what's that?
When did you found the Hall of Fame?
Founded the Hall of Fame in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, January of 2008. And started off very small at a local indie show, actually. I inducted the first class in the center of the ring in replace of intermission. and decided in 2009 to turn it into its own event and get away from the live wrestling show, and rented a hall in East Providence, Rhode Island, and honored those who, like I said, have paved the way for a bunch of people in the New England scene. And 2010 came back to the same location, decided to spice it up a little bit and not only do the New England ceremony, but as well as a mini fan fest in the morning. We started off small. 2011, we came back with a much larger fan fest, same location, but a much larger lineup. Took 2012 off, and then we went to the Seaport Inn and Marina Hotel in Fairhaven, 2013, with a huge fan fest, over 20 WWE Hall of Famers, and of course the ceremony in the evening once again. And like you mentioned earlier, Crown Plaza Hotel last year,
Yes.
With another great fan fest and Hall of Fame ceremony, and bigger and better this year.
And I remember we had you call in, Joe, last year to promote that, and now this year, the Rhode Island Convention Center, such a tremendous showcase. Of course, they've had Ring of Honor events, and even at the recent Comic-Cons, they've had a lot of wrestlers there. As
Sure.
Jay kind of perusing through some of the guests here. What guest are you excited about this year, Joe?
The guy who certainly seems to be creating the most buzz is Bill Goldberg.
Yes.
Bill Goldberg's a guy that just doesn't come around the Providence area, so that's going to be something special right there. Honestly, I would say for me personally, I would have to go with good old JR, Jim Ross.
Oh, wow. I would love to meet him.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Ross is a WWE Hall of Famer, another guy who's paved the way for many, been in the business a long time, and he's just a legendary figure, and again, another person who's just never in this area signing autographs. So it's going to be.
Oh
something
no!
special.
I mean, he stays more southern. The fact that Jim Ross is going to be at this event, I'm very excited. I hope to get a chance to meet him. Of course, the Strike Zone will be there live as well. Having a table, and it's our first time having a table at the event. We're very excited for this. A guy like Jim Ross, I mean, for someone who does this, goes on the air, talks about sports and wrestling, really is such an inspiration to me. And I think we take for granted almost. He really was the voice of so many people's adolescence, so many people's childhood. Random statement here. I was listening to Jericho's podcast where he had Kevin Steen on recently. And Steen talked about, growing up in Canada, he was French speaking. He did not speak English. Jim Ross, essentially, his commentaries taught Kevin Owens how to speak English. It's little things like that. It's like, wow, like you take for granted. But
Jim Ross is just so passionate, you know, about the product, so you could feel it.
It
Anybody
was-
can learn English.
It was
with
funny
Ross.
though, because Owens was would go to school and he would talk in the JR sound bites like slobber knocker and stuff, and people have to tell him,
Sure.
no, that's just how Jim Ross talks. It's not part of normal.
I think as far as sound bites go, I mean, it really comes down to Gorilla Monsoon and Jim Ross over the years.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to talk about the greatest interviewer of all time, and Mean Gene Okerlund, and someone who I think to this day we're still trying to replace really the role he had as an interviewer. I love Renee Young. I think she does a tremendous job now. I think she's one of the better ones they've had in a long time. But
Sure.
it's such a hard role to replace what Mean Gene brought to the table, and even what Jim Ross has brought to the table in the color commentary. The play-by-play rather. No disrespect to Michael Cole or anybody, Kevin Kelly, anyone who does the job.
Sure.
I mean, just so.
It's definitely a different era of interviewers these days, that's for sure. So.
Absolutely. And just, hopefully to get a chance to pick Jim Ross's brain. Now, you mentioned Bill Goldberg. We certainly hope to get a chance to ask him this, but we're going to ask you this first. The rumors are buzzing. The dirt sheets are talking, Joe. Ooh, yeah, dig it. That Bill Goldberg may be interested in coming out of retirement, possibly even on the independent level, because his kid wants to see him wrestle. Can you shed any light on this rumor?
Well, I haven't talked to Bill personally about it, but I have seen some rumblings about it, and I don't think, like you said, I don't think it would be in the WWE. It would probably be on more of a
GFW,
independent
that's what I'm
scale,
hearing.
or maybe another promotion that's on television. But I've certainly seen the stories. I mean, he wants to be able to give that to his son just, one time at least, and he's certainly all for it. He seems gung-ho about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bill back in the ring eventually.
It's a shame that him and WWE just can't seem to get back on the same page. A couple years ago, it seemed like there was hope. They released that Goldberg DVD of his matches, which I actually thought was a very good release. I own it at home.
Sure.
And it looked like maybe a Hall of Fame induction or something was going to happen, especially when it was in Atlanta. But they seem to have backed off, and in recent interviews, Goldberg has really not been in favor of the idea of returning to WWE. We all know his infamous one-year run back in 03-04, which was mired in controversy with of course,
he's got a little sour patch with Triple H, so that's the only way he's going to get in WWE.
I almost feel like Hunter's a New England guy, and he's done so much. I mean, you look at what he's doing for wrestling now in NXT, and giving guys, even guys from New England, guys who have wrestled the Indies. I mean, I remember Joe seeing Kevin Steen in New Bedford, and Jay met him running into the bathroom. I mean, these guys, and now he's beating John Cena on pay-per-view. I mean, it's great to see these guys come up, and I really think, I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, New England. And this is why I love the fact that you do this event. New England is such a showcase, a hotbed for wrestling, and has really given
Absolutely.
guys, so many guys that you see now that you wouldn't even know. A guy like Kofi Kingston, a guy like Damian Sandow, their opportunities to grow. A guy like Fandango, and now you see a guy who's a guest. I was a guest last year as well. Has been a guest in the Strike Zone, the Juice JT Dunn. Guys who are rising up, and I think in 10, 20 years will find themselves in New England Hall of Fame for their contributions they have made.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, there's so many fresh faces now that have really come a long way. Like you said, just started in the grassroots, and now they're on television. Sasha Banks being another one.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, without a doubt, full circle, New England Hall of Fame would be, honored to give back to any of them who have really just done so much for New England.
And I think the fact, Joe, that this event has grown so much just in a few years speaks to the passion that New England wrestling fans have. I mean, this has always been a hotbed going back for when WWF would go to the Boston Garden. We'd get Macho Man, or we'd get Hogan or Andre the Giant, or even in Rhode Island. Really, such a hotbed of passionate wrestling fans. It's always been WWF, WWE territory, going back to Vincent J. McMahon. And it's just so great that you have spearheaded this event. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. And we at the Strike Zone are so honored and proud to just have a table there and be a small sliver of the event. Now, Joe, tickets are $20, correct?
Yeah, if you're looking for general admission, just want to browse around, $20 to get in the door, and general admission opens up at 10 a.m. If you're a VIP ticket holder, there are 4 levels of super ticket, starting at $300 for the bronze. There's a silver for $400, gold for $500, and a platinum $900. You can visit our website at newenglandfanfest.com. Kind of breaks down each super ticket, tells you exactly what it comes with, and but general admission, like I said, $20 to get in the door. You can purchase your tickets at the door the day of the event. Just browse around and kind of meet who you want and go individual that way. Tickets also available on our website as well as Ticketmaster.com. So there's a few different outlets as far as purchasing in advance. But all tickets will be available the day of as well.
That's right. And now, is the Hall of Fame separate? Would you get tickets separately for the Hall of Fame event, which I believe is at nighttime?
Yep, the Hall of Fame is going to be Saturday night from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. Everything will be taking place inside the Rhode Island Convention Center, so
Okay.
As far as convenience goes, that's a plus right there. Tickets will be available at the door for the Hall of Fame. Ceremony is $20 for that as well.
That's not bad.
Those are also available on our website right now. Basically everything kicks off the night before on Friday, June 26th at the Rhode Island Convention Center. We're going to kick it off from 6 to 8 p.m. with the special VIP dinner. Tickets are $100. That includes beverages and food, and you get to sit at basically a table with the stars, up close and personal, eat with the guys, and there'll be at least 15 stars at a part of the dinner. And then as the dinner winds down at 8 p.m., there'll be the Corny in New England, the Jim Cornette one-man show, and that'll be from 8:30 until probably about 10:30. He puts on one hell of a show, so this is going to be something special for New England. And as far as actual autograph sessions goes, this will be Jim's only 2015 appearance in all of New England.
Well, yeah, again, another guy like Jim Ross, who's obviously more Southern, and Cornette's an interesting case.
He doesn't fly.
You're right. He doesn't fly. I just remembered that. He has really grown a second life, I feel, in popularity with his YouTube stuff and his podcast, and everybody wants to hear Jim Cornette's opinions on things. Whether you like the guy or not, some people, he'll talk about Kevin Steen or this one or that one, but he always has something interesting to say, and I think it's so great that he's going to be at this. Now, what is his connections to New England wrestling? Now, I know obviously he's more known for, his experiences in the South. Can you share a story of maybe how he has a connection to New England wrestling scene?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he's, rarely out this way nowadays, but going back about 15, 20 years back, he was a part of New England scene, and, he did a couple tours out this way with different promotions, and he said he's got a lot of, good stories about this area, and he wouldn't really let the cat out of the bag as far as the, any of the stories go, but he's going to, I'm sure, deliver during the New England Hall of Fame ceremony, and Howard Finkel will also be inducting him as well. So,
oh wow, Finkel's doing double duty.
Yeah, Finkel will also be inducting referee Jimmy Corderas as well. And,
any stories on Jimmy Corderas, the guy who's on TV for so long? I know is a New Englander. Any thoughts and stories on someone who really underrated referee? I thought he always did a phenomenal job.
Oh man, one of the top for without a doubt. I mean, you have Jack Doan, Mike Chioda, Jimmy Corderas, really that crew there, along with Earl Hebner, of course, were just the cream of the crop. And over 20 years with the WWE, he's done ring crew, he's been referee, he's main evented, WrestleManias. I mean, he's really done a lot in the business. And coming out of Canada, he's going to be bringing his wife. It's going to be a special night, inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it's just going to be something special. He's really looking forward to it. So we had him last year as a super ticket guest, and he's just a pleasure to have on hand.
Well, Joe, we are so looking forward to the opportunity to be at the New England Fan Fest Live. We've been looking forward to this for over 6 months now, and we're so honored to have you. You want to do a final plug real quick for everything, for Hall of Fame, Fan Fest, everything, real quick?
Absolutely, yeah. We got the VIP dinner and the one-man show on Friday night, and then, of course, kicking it off with the Fan Fest on Saturday. We're looking at 9 to 4 for hours there, and then, of course, ending with the Hall of Fame ceremony from 5 to 8 p.m. And basically who's who: Bill Goldberg, Alberto Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez, the legendary Eric Bischoff, of course,
nice. Scott
James E. Cornette, Jim Ross, just really a who's who, Kelly Kelly, the lovely Lita, and a whole host of others. So,
Scott Hall, I noticed.
NewEnglandFanFest.com, of course, you can get your tickets in advance. Exactly. Scott Hall, the bad guy himself, will be in the house, and it's just going to be a special day. Tons of divas: Jasmine St. Clair and Maria Kanellis, Ryan Shamrock, Jackie Gaeta-Haas. How about the pair of John Morris and Molina? I mean, you never see them out this way.
Oh, wow.
Are they even still together? I had heard they that's getting to personalize. I had heard they had separated a while ago.
I know they're still friendly. They're
good.
Certainly friends, so I'm not too sure.
Obviously, professionally, they'll always be linked together with the M&M and all the connections they had on WWE television. Larry Zbyszko also in attendance. We're scrolling through.
Living legend Larry Zbyszko, Howard Finkel, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, some obscure guys, Glacier from WCW.
Nice.
And, of course, the Pug, Alex Porto from the WWF.
Yeah.
And we've got Diana Hart-Smith and Harry Smith, Tatanka, the Native American superstar, and Daphne, the FBI, Nunzio, and Tony Mamaluke.
Very nice.
So who's who?
That's right. Folks, if you love professional wrestling, which we on this show certainly do, you need to come out Saturday, June 27th. Well, first of all, Friday, June 26th, if you want to be part of the dinner with James E. Cornette special afterwards. Come down Saturday, June 27th, New England Fan Fest 5. Get your tickets at the door or go to Ticketmaster.com for the ticket packages, which Joe has talked about. And then stick around for the Hall of Fame. You got Jimmy Corderas going in. You got Mean Gene. You got James E. Cornette. Going to be a fantastic cast of characters going in. Joe, on behalf of all the wrestling fans in New England, thank you for what you do as a showcase for professional wrestling and to showcase these guys who contributed into the business, especially through New England. We very much are looking forward to having the table there and mingling with everybody there, and we at the Strike Zone are honored to be part of it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for having me. And I also forgot to mention we're closing out the weekend on that Sunday, the day after FanFest, with Beyond Wrestling presenting the New England FanFest Super Show, and that's going to be at Club Fete in Providence, Rhode Island.
Young Bucks on the card, too, I believe, right? Young Bucks versus Kingdom?
Young Bucks will be in the house, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. All right. I think I'm going to be there for that. I haven't been to a Beyond show in a while. I think I'm going to be there for that. Joe, thank you so much. What a phenomenal weekend of wrestling.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up. Joseph Bruen, folks, he is the man behind New England Fan Fest, the man behind the New England Hall of Fame. Been such a tremendous success over the years. And it's just scratching the surface, guys. It's climbing from little halls, the little indie shows, to Crown Plaza Hotel,
Awesome to
now
see this.
Rhode
Yeah.
Island Convention Center. And we're honored and proud to be part of it. This has been a project we've been very much looking forward to here on the Strike Zone, really for the better part of 6 months, game planning for it, talking about